hot.
Every night, the sound of wild boars crashing through the wooden fences echoed like a challenge. They stormed into my father's storage of corn and sweet potatoes, wreaking havoc on a harvest nurtured with sweat and tears. The damage piled up, and my anger surged. Unable to stand by any longer, I joined the hunting team, ready to take action. Would we succeed in taking down these ruthless destroyers? The answer lies in the treacherous journey ahead. After a thorough discussion of tactics and clear division of roles, our team set out. We were all geared up with 3 layers of warm clothing, hats, snow-gripping boots, and of course, weapons loaded and ready. Alongside us, the sharp-eyed hunting dogs were eager for the hunt. The mission to protect our property, crops, and our way of life was officially underway. At dawn, the biting cold air enveloped the forest. I lay in ambush at a clearing near the edge of the woods, my heart pounding. The tension mixed with excitement. I thought about my father, about the nights he stood watching the wreckage of the storage. No, today those boars will pay the price. Here's the first target. I immediately raised my rifle, lining up my shot with its path. As it passed the bush, I squeezed the trigger. Boom. The shot rang out, and the prey tumbled into the cold snow, lying motionless. I exhaled in relief. The opening shot was perfect, signaling that this hunt might just be easier than I expected. We pushed deeper into the forest. The farther we went, the more signs of torn-up land fueled our determination. Fresh tracks, churned soil, these were the scars left behind by the invaders. Then the sharp, frantic barking of our hounds erupted. They had flushed a target out of hiding. A wild boar burst out, lightning fast. I drew a deep breath, finger resting gently on the trigger. The moment it charged into the open clearing, crack, a single shot rang out. The bullet hit home. Precise, decisive. In that split second with my finger on the trigger, I wasn't thinking about the boar. I was thinking about the sweat and hard work of farmers like my father. Sweat that would be wasted if these destroyers weren't stopped. By midday, weak rays of sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting a pale glow across the forest. After a quick rest, we got back to work. A few more targets had been taken down. For those that escaped, we immediately gave chase while relaying their direction over the radio to David, our man stationed on the outer perimeter, ready to intercept if they made it past the tree line. Following a trail of blood in the snow, I found a wounded boar, too weak to run any farther. I raised my rifle locked in, and with one clean, decisive shot, granted it a final release. Some people might have only heard the crack of a gunshot, but me, I heard the quiet sigh of relief from the farmers back home. At the edge of the forest, David received the signal and instantly took position, eyes locked onto the tree line, every sense on high alert. A dark blur darted through the trees. There it was. David raised his rifle, front sight, fixed dead center on the boar's weak spot. In one swift motion, the bullet flew true. The beast dropped, instantly crumpling into the forest floor. Every shot we fire carries more than just lead. It's the result of skill, courage, and a deep belief in the justice we're defending out here. If you feel the same, give us a like and show your support. Following the signal from our hounds, we moved up toward a steeper hillside. The dogs barked furiously. Prey was close, very close. Suddenly, a wild boar emerged from a dense thicket, barely a few meters in front of me. Boom! I fired, almost instinctively, a split-second reaction. The boar collapsed instantly. Precise reflexes. That's what it takes for a hunter like us to make a successful hunt. Snow began to fall harder, making visibility more difficult. We decided to head toward the narrow trail along the hillside to begin our retreat. But something in my gut told me it wasn't over yet. And I was right. Out of nowhere, a massive boar charged full speed up the slope. One final shot, clean, powerful, and swift, rang out. The bullet struck true, dropping the beast before it even knew what hit it. That final shot wasn't about destruction. It was a bold declaration that peace was on its way back to the village. As the sun dipped below the horizon, we loaded our hard-earned trophies onto the Land Rover Defender. I looked back at the forest, a sense of calm washing over me. Tonight, my father and the farmers will sleep peacefully, no longer haunted by the fear of wild boars tearing through their land. But deep down, I know the battle isn't over. Somewhere out there, more boars are lurking, and we'll be ready. Hit like and subscribe to join us on the next hunt. We're just getting started. The sound of the propellers tearing through the Queensland sky is not the noise of war, but the sound of protection. Down below, the fertile fields are under threat from an uninvited invader, wild boars. They devastate crops at a terrifying pace, and to stop them, we must be faster, stronger, and more decisive. Today, join us in this high-speed battle, an aerial hunt to restore peace to the land. At the break of dawn, we gathered quickly to outline our strategy for the morning. The goal: to use the aerial advantage of the helicopter to apply pressure, split, and isolate our first targets. The hunt is on. Before the first light of day, the helicopter sliced through the biting chill of the early morning, stirring the wild land of the west. The relentless hum of the engine easily drove the wild boars from their hiding spots, forcing them to reveal themselves. But it wasn't until the third shot, after recalculating the wind's direction, that I managed to pin down my first target in the open field. The greeting was tough, signaling the start of a hunting day full of challenges ahead. James' team on the other side was doing an excellent job of applying pressure, driving an entire herd of wild boars into a frantic sprint ahead. But one of them made a fatal mistake by breaking away from the group, turning itself into the perfect target. The helicopter swooped down like a predator, circling lower, and with a single shot that rang out clean, precise, it wrote the final chapter to this flawless performance, a testament to the perfect synchronization, down to the very last second. While James' team effortlessly claimed victory, our side found ourselves in a very different battle. These four-legged monsters were not just running on instinct, they seemed to possess a tactical mindset. They turned the terrain into a living shield, using every bush and tree to neutralize the aerial shots. Left with no other option, we made the decision to land, preparing for an all-out ground hunt. We touched down, taking a moment to rest and refuel with a simple lunch. The battle had now entered a new phase, patience, waiting, and studying the habits of our prey. Wild boars, though cunning, are always bound by their habits, and this trail was their fatal weakness. My job was simple: to wait patient and still. And in that split second, as it charged out, my reflexes and the sound of the shot were almost one and the same, sealing its fate forever with this land. If you think this shot was a beauty, give us a like. Not far off, in the open grasslands, a scene of tranquility unfolded. The wild boars were completely unaware, lost in the feast we had carefully set for them. And then, the silence was shattered by a few decisive shots. In the blink of an eye, the two largest beasts froze in their tracks, collapsing to the ground. From gluttonous creatures, they would now become the feast for tonight's celebration, where the joy of the hunt is shared with the entire village. Credit must be given to the hunting dogs, who finally cornered the cunning wild boar out of its stronghold. We had anticipated its escape route and waited patiently at the forest's edge. As soon as the boar bolted from the thicket, thinking it had evaded us, the barrels of our rifles were already there, greeting it with open arms. A long, exhausting day closed with a glorious victory, the fruit of relentless teamwork and unwavering patience. As the long day drew to a close, exhausted but satisfied, we reflected on everything we achieved. From the heart-pounding aerial chases to the intense face-offs on the ground, the mission was complete. Now the Land Rover Defender awaited, ready to carry our hard-earned trophies. Gliding through the sharp images captured on the iPhone 16 Pro, I realized that the true value of our work isn't just in the shots fired, but in bringing peace to the fields and reassurance to the farmers. The next episode will bring new challenges ahead, with swampy terrain to tackle and more wild boars to stop. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because the next chapter might just be even more thrilling. For many farmers in Louisiana, every morning they step onto their fields, and what greets them isn't the lush green of their crops, but a battlefield in ruins. Cornfields torn apart, sweet potato rows uprooted, the deep imprints of wild boars' hooves and the marks left by their dragging bodies carved into the soil like a direct challenge. Even the most intricate traps become useless in the face of their cunning. When sweat and hard work are destroyed in a single night, frustration reaches its peak. And that's why we're here. This is the battle to reclaim peace for these fields. How will it end? Stay tuned to find out. As the first light of dawn breaks, amidst the vast grassy fields, everything seems calm. But through the eyes of a hunter, any unusual movement is enough to set our team into action. The pilot immediately grips the control stick, diving the helicopter down like a hawk swooping in on its prey, creating the perfect position for me to lock the boar into my sights and take it down with a single shot. That's how we kick off a successful day of hunting. Not far away, a breathless chase was unfolding as James' team had to handle 2 targets at once. No easy task. James unleashed a rapid barrage of bullets, and after a tense moment, 1 boar fell. The helicopter immediately swooped in, closing the distance to the remaining target. Then a single sharp, clean shot rang out, pinning the last dark figure to the ground. Do you think that final shot was as smooth as it seemed? If you were the one holding the rifle at that moment, could you stay calm enough to make that call? But if you're not experienced, don't try to follow our lead. The radio crackled, signaling that David's team had just bagged another one. It was a textbook move, using the helicopter's engine noise to break the cover, forcing the prey to reveal itself in the open. The moment the target appeared, David gave it no chance. A well-executed tactic, showcasing the experience of a seasoned hunter who knows how to turn his own equipment into a hunting tool. As soon as the new coordinates were confirmed, we charged straight toward the target. A whole herd of wild boars appeared, intensifying the urgency in the air. Amidst the chaos of the herd, my hunter's instinct told me to aim for leaders. Without hesitation, I unleashed a burst of fire at the 2 largest ones, pinning them to the ground and quelling the chaos in just a few seconds. The ground is their territory, where a wild boar cornered with no escape can turn into an attacking machine with tusks as sharp as daggers, demanding that we stay focused and make split-second decisions. The churned-up earth beneath his feet was like a challenge, leading John to the edge of an unharvested field. There, a wild boar was charging toward it, clearly intent on causing destruction, but he wouldn't let that happen. A single shot, precise and clean, put an end to that foolish plan. The fragile piece of field was preserved. It was a flawless collaboration, a showcase of the finest hunting dogs in action. They did the hardest part, driving a beast out of its hiding place and guiding it straight into James' sights. The moment the boar's snarling, tusked snout appeared, he immediately stopped the threat with a single shot. If you were him, would your hand shake facing such a massive, ferocious creature at such close range? As the sunlight began to fade, it seemed like everything was winding down, but the wild boars were not. My eyes locked onto a dark shape speeding away. It had seen us and was making a run for the hillside, its last escape route. But my bullet wouldn't allow it, forcing the beast to lie here forever, paying the price of the havoc it had caused. A flawless victory, closing out a hunting day that couldn't have been more perfect. The sun had fully set behind the trees, and the engine's roar finally died down, leaving only a true, peaceful silence. The Jeep Gladiator was now loaded with the fruits of the hunt. I pulled out my iPhone 16 to call the processing plant and a few locals, letting them know there would be a big feast tonight. This wasn't just meat, it was peace of mind for the farmers, a joy for the whole community as the threat had been pushed back. Our journey wasn't over yet, because out there, many more lands still need protecting. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming hunts. In the southern United States, the wild hogs have become an increasingly severe menace, causing heavy damage to crops and threatening the livelihoods of local people. To confront this growing danger, Jim's hunting team set out, armed with modern weapons, battle-hardened hunting dogs, and a specialized vehicle for the trip. With years of experience under their belts, Jim and his team saw this not merely as a hunt, but as a mission to protect the land from the vicious creatures that wreak havoc on it. Will this hunting expedition live up to their expectations? Follow their thrilling journey as they face down the wild hog menace. As the sun just began to rise, Jim's team quickly set up an ambush in a vast patch of tall grass. It didn't take long before their quarry appeared. Barely visible, its body almost entirely concealed by the thick vegetation. But with his skill and experience, nothing could throw Jim off. He raised his rifle, locked onto the target, and calmly squeezed the trigger. With just one shot, the bullet struck a fatal spot, and the beast collapsed instantly. Indeed, the title of sharpshooter in this land was well earned. The opening shot of the hunt had gone off flawlessly. Determined to venture deeper into the thick grass, Jim carefully scanned every nook and cranny, leaving no sign unchecked. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed from very close by. His instincts told him the prey was right here. Jim tightened his grip on his rifle. In the blink of an eye, from the right flank, a massive dark shape shot out, wildly searching for an escape route. But how could it outrun Jim? Without hesitation, he fired. The sharp crack of the shot rang out. The beast staggered, then collapsed instantly. Now imagine yourself in that position. Would you be able to maintain the calm and composure that Jim showed? Not everyone has the skill and nerve to turn that unexpected moment into a lethal shot. Before Jim could even lower his rifle, another deafening shot rang out from the other side of the grass. It turned out that Jim's teammate had just locked onto another target. Without needing to get closer, he chose to take the shot from afar. Through the thick cover of leaves, his cold eyes never wavered, following every movement of the creature. When it made a mistake and exposed an opening, the decisive squeeze of the trigger rang out. The bullet was so precise, it left the beast no chance. It froze, then collapsed to the ground in an instant. Once again, the hunting team had successfully completed their mission of protecting the crops. Knowing that the forest would surely hold more signs of the beast, the team decided to veer deeper into the woods. After more than 15 minutes of moving through the dense underbrush, a nearby bush began to shake, gradually intensifying. Just as the wild boar burst out, attempting to flee, bang, a gunshot rang out. The barrel of Jim's rifle was still shrouded in smoke. The bullet flew with pinpoint precision, not veering even a fraction. The creature collapsed, motionless, a clear testament to the skill and mastery of the legendary hunter of this land. Suddenly, a signal came from the southwest. The team immediately rushed toward it. Amidst the thick canopy, a massive beast charged aggressively, crashing through the foliage and barreling forward. Jim raised his rifle, taking a decisive shot. Bang! The roar of the shot shattered the air. But the creature was no easy prey. It skillfully dodged the first bullet, slipping away. Unfazed, Jim quickly adjusted his stance and fired again. The bullet struck with deadly accuracy, finding its mark. The beast slid and collapsed, completely still. As you can see, the wild boars here are cunning and tenacious. Without the skill and experience of a seasoned hunter, who could possibly put an end to this menace? Just as the hunt seemed to be drawing to a close, as the team reached the edge of the forest, a shadow suddenly dashed across their path. The creature hurried, as if frantically searching for its lost comrades. But Jim didn't let the opportunity slip away. He swiftly ended the hunt with a single shot. Jim proved once again his precision and the skill of a true professional hunter, playing a crucial role in protecting the crops. The hunt came to a successful close with a bounty of spoils. This expedition of Jim's team not only showcased the skill and experience of seasoned hunters, but also played a vital role in addressing the wild boar problem in the region. All of this was done within the boundaries of the law, with full support from the local authorities, something for which our team is deeply grateful. But has this battle truly come to an end, or is it merely a brief lull before the next eruption? Stay tuned for our next journey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future hunts.